this is Crystal, and today I'm here with week 12 in my creativity journal. This is a little bit later than planned. Life just got in the way of me getting this done, but hopefully I can catch up soon and get back on track. So these are the photos for this week. I have a few things that I created, and I did take some photos of some of the free classes that were offered this week. This was March... obviously 16th through the 22nd, so right around the beginning of our quarantine here. For supplies, I have printed out a bunch of the My Happy Place collection from Kelly Bangs for the Reset Girl. I haven't printed out all of it, but I have quite a bit of it here, and this is what I'm going to use. And then I knew I'd need an alpha. There is an alpha in this kit actually, but I didn't want to print it. I have so many alphas. In fact, I have a dirty little secret I'm going to share with you. So I have this basket. I don't even know if I can even get it. Yeah, I can't even get the whole thing in the frame. But this basket, it's like a plastic basket. I got it. TJ Maxx, I think. This is supposed to be my limit for alpha stickers, for large alpha stickers. But I have this pile that has been sitting on top of it because they don't fit inside this basket. And I'm fairly certain that this is not all of the thickers and alpha stickers that I have. I'm pretty sure there are more in kits and collections throughout my stash that I just haven't pulled because I knew they wouldn't fit in here. So it's time to start using these up. I need to get rid of them. I need to get them down to a more reasonable size, this basket preferably, and actually make some hard decisions about which ones I'm going to keep. Yeah, so I did pull out this one. It's a super old one from Dear Lizzie. I'm going to try and use that one with this week to try and get some of those used up. Okay, so those are my supplies. I'm going to put you on fast forward and get started. So I'm going to start by playing around with my photos and trying to figure out where I want them on this page. I know that I want them kind of spread around. I don't want them clumped up too much all together in one spot. I want them to have a nice distribution across the entire page. So I'm just trying to work out where they can go. And that means that some of them have to go on days where they weren't actually taken, and that doesn't bother me at all. So the photos that I have for this week are of the three things I posted on Instagram. I shared a Project Life spread, a creativity journal spread, and then just a sneak of the upcoming Citrus Twist kits at that time, which is now released. And then the other ones are, like I said, the classes that I enrolled in that were offered for free about this time. And then the three projects that I worked on that hadn't been posted yet at this point. So those are the photos. And if you're not familiar with this entire project, with the creativity journal project, if you're new here, I do have a playlist, and in the very first video I talk about why I started this album, what it's supposed to be for me, and all of that goodness. So I will link that playlist down below. And I'm sorry that it's super washed out right now. That's because I have that black trimmer on my table. As soon as I take that away, the lighting will get better. So I have this collection, this My Happy Place collection designed by Kelly Bangs for the Reset Girl, and I've printed it on quite a few different papers, which is something I normally do when I get a set from the Reset Girl. There are always so many different sheets that you get in their collections. Like it's a lot. It's almost overwhelming. So I generally kind of look at the individual PDF and decide how I might use it, what I'm most likely to use it for, and then decide what paper to print it on based on that. So some of these are on white sticker paper, some of them are on clear sticker paper, some of them are on just regular printer paper, some of them are on a heavy duty card. Yeah, so it's a variety of things. And I'm just kind of looking through and deciding exactly what I might want on this page. I have a couple of journal cards there, and I didn't resize them Normally, I would resize my journal cards down to fit the boxes on this template, which, by the way, is from Retro Hip Mama from Retro Hip Co. It's her memory planning template. Normally, I would resize them. I didn't do that. I printed them just as they come on the PDF, and they will still work. You can see that I still have them on the page, even though they overlap multiple boxes. It doesn't bother me that it crosses over the lines. I'll still be able to use it to add my journaling. And I think I actually take one of them off. I think I don't keep that create one, and I do use the Eat, Sleep, Craft journal spot on the right hand side, but I think I take that create one off here in a little bit. So I didn't trim anything out ahead of time just because there's so much here, and it's just easier to see everything that is included if I just leave it on the full sheets. So you do have to watch me trimming some things out. Sorry about that, but yeah, that's just kind of the way it goes when you do a process. Okay, so I'm committing to a couple things here. I really love this super busy, colorful pattern. It's one of the papers in this kit, and what I like to do with the papers is just print them in 2-inch strips onto sticker paper, and then I kind of use them like washi tape, or I can use them to fill in the boxes, or I can use them like this to fill in the spaces on the side of the page. So that's what I've done here. I've just used that 2-inch block of pattern paper to fill in the kind of side part of this template. And I've used my thickers to add week at the top, and I'm going to add a little blue banner just below that so I can add the number and so that it will stand out on that busy background paper. That just gives that week number some place to live. And I added that banner up above that was also on sticker paper. Okay, so I'm just going to keep playing around. That's basically what this entire video is me searching through all of these different supplies and trying to decide which ones I want to add to this page. And there is kind of 2 different color schemes in this collection. I guess not really color schemes, but there's a few things that have kind of a cream background, kind of an off-white kind of color to them. And then there are lots of things that have a crisp white background or a blank background, and then I printed it on white paper. And I tried to include some of both, but I didn't really like the combination of the two. So I think, at least for these projects, I'm definitely going to keep them separate. I really love that. I'm not sure if you saw it earlier. There's this kind of rainbow pattern, but it's on a cream background. And I wanted to include it, but it just didn't look right to me on this crisp white paper with all of these other crisp white elements. It just didn't look right. So I'll save that for something else and try and work it into some other project at some other time. Okay, so I'm committing to all of my photos now. I'm gluing all of those down just with my tape runner. And then again, just looking through all the things. So because I added that create sticker, that word sticker above those 3 photos that I cascaded down the page, I want to add some more word stickers. Essentially, I want to create a little triangle of 3 word stickers. So I'm finding other ones on this sheet that I can add to other places on the page. I found one that says yes. I'm going to add that below the spot where I'm going to add the journaling about the classes, the free classes that were offered this week. And then I'm going to use this yeah one up above that next to the photo of my Citrus Twist Kit sneak. And then that's going to create a little triangle. Even though they're not the same font or the same colors, it still creates a visual triangle on the page by having those large words spread out across the 2 sides of the page. I also really love these tags and tickets on this page. It's one of my favorite things in this kit. And I cut out a few of them to try and use. I think I only end up using 1 or maybe 2 here at the bottom. I tried to use one of those tags. It was just a little too big for the page though, but I do end up using one of the little, that little blue tag and then the ticket next to it. I'm going to create a little cluster there in the bottom right hand corner below the photo of the 4 classes. I'm just to fill in the space, and I can't remember quite what that little tag says, but it was an appropriate saying, and I thought it would just look nice tucked in right there at the bottom of the page. And that's basically, like I said, this is the entire video, is just me going through all of these different sheets and finding things that will work and filling in the spaces. There are so many adorable elements on these sheets in this collection. If you haven't checked it out, I would definitely recommend it. I don't buy every collection that the Reset Girl releases by any means, but this one, which, like I said, was designed by Kelly Bangs, is just too adorable, and it's very crafty, so it was perfect for this album. I knew I'd be able to use all these little elements throughout this album, and I actually still haven't completed my album from last year either, my creativity journal from last year, so I will probably go back and use some of these in that one as well. I had a slightly different approach to it last year. I think I've shared just a little sneak of it in one of my videos, but I'm hoping when I get it done that I can do a flip through and kind of show you how I did my album from last year, because it is a little bit different. I guess it was more kind of piecemeal. It was more kind of haphazard. I didn't use specific collections for individual weeks. I didn't number the weeks. I just kind of stuck photos down where they belonged, and then would go back through and journal and add embellishments kind of as I felt like doing so. Since I wasn't sharing it, there wasn't a pressure to do, a week every week, or to do it all at once so that it was, a complete video. I just kind of would, when I found something in my stash that I thought, oh, this would be nice in my creativity journal, I would just pick it up and find a spot where it could go, and then put it away and, do the same thing later on. So I definitely had a different approach to it. Although I will say I'm going to be much more likely to get this one finished this year than I was to get that one finished. I didn't, obviously. I think I'm more than halfway through, which is more than I can say for my project life from last year. But anyway, that's probably enough rambling for now. Okay, so still just looking through all of these really gorgeous little bits. I found that little ruler, and I liked it at the top of the page. I kind of have a formula for these pages, at least I have recently, where I fill in the left-hand side and then add my photos, and then I always have a little cluster at the top. I sometimes do a strip along the bottom, but it works for me, and I end up liking the way they look, and that's really all that matters. So it doesn't bother me that I'm basically doing the same thing every week. The important thing is that I get the photos and the journaling documented. That's what this is all about. Okay, so I added a little kind of triangle or a hexagonal banner there underneath the ruler at the top, because it was the one thing I could find that was the same pattern as the paper I used on the left-hand side, and I felt like I needed more of that pattern somewhere. It needed to show up somewhere else on the page. And I was starting to feel like the left-hand side is way more bright and colorful than the right-hand side. So I needed to find ways to bring more color and pattern to the right-hand side of the page. So you'll see me search through and do a bit more of that. But right now I am trimming out these little phrase stickers. So there's this sheet of tiny phrases in different colors on kind of a black background, and they're meant to be trimmed out to use as little, tiny phrase stickers. And when you buy these collections, you can get them with cut files. Like you can buy instead of just buying the printable ones, you can buy ones that come with cut files, so you can print and cut them using your Silhouette or your Cricut. But I don't really do that. In fact, I'm not even sure that my Silhouette will do that. I have a super old Silhouette, and I don't even know if it has that capacity. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me to trim things out, and I kind of like the larger sheets, the print and cut sheets cut into like half sheets. So I kind of like the larger size anyway, so I just don't even bother worrying about the printing and cutting part of it. I just buy the printable ones and make them work. But yeah, that is an option if you are interested in that and don't like to fussy cut all the things by yourself. Then yeah, they do always offer files along with their collections as well. Okay, so there's that sheet of frames. I really wanted to include one of them because I think they're super cute, and a lot of the phrases would work perfectly, obviously, for this album. So I was just trying to figure out if I could get one to fit. And the problem with this collection in this album is just that everything's just a little bit too big. It just didn't quite fit in the box and didn't quite fit anywhere where there was space for it on my spread. So I think maybe in the future, if I do use another collection like this, that maybe I would just print them on half sheets, which I know I just said, like, I like the full sheets, but having 2 pages on a single full sheet is still a full sheet. And then they would maybe be better sized to this kind of project. Yeah, I don't know though, because some of them I think would then be too small. So yeah, I'm not sure. It works. I get this spread finish, and there are plenty of smaller elements on these pages that I can use to make it work. And obviously, I do make it work because I do finish this page. But yeah, it's something to consider, maybe printing them a bit smaller if I want to use them in this journal. Okay, so I added another little like half hexagon of pattern paper there on the right hand side to try and bring in more color and more pattern. I'm going to grab the thickers again and just add a little phrase that says "so crafty" in that spot, just because it was a blank spot. I knew I wouldn't have journaling to go there, and I felt like it just needed something, and I couldn't find something on the sticker sheets that really worked in that spot, and I liked the idea of bringing more of those thickers over to the other side of the page, and also using more of them because I really am trying to get them used up. So I just added that little phrase, and then I went away and did all of my journaling, as you can see, and the last thing I'm going to do here is add some stamping. So I grabbed a stamp set from Feature Craft. This is the Head High stamp set, and it is still available in the shop, so I'll be sure to link that down below as well. And I'm using just a few of the kind of icon stamps around the page just to fill in the blank spots and to add a little bit of something extra. There's that one that's kind of like a fireworks or a burst of stars and lines, and I added those kind of anywhere there was a corner where I thought they would work. I'm going to add a couple of the phrases here and there, and then there are 2 stars on this stamp set. One is an outline and one is filled in star, and I'm going to stamp several of those in clusters around the page. So I'm going to stamp the outline star in black, and then I'm going to fill it in with a couple of colorful inks from my stash. One is a scrapbook.com ink. I think it's Pink Lemonade maybe. And then the other one is a Hero Arts ink. And I can't remember if I used Soft Pool or another one, but I'll be sure to link those down below as well in case you are curious. And then that's going to be it. So I just have the stamping left to do here. Oh, you can see, as always, I made a complete mess of the stamping. I am the messiest stamper on the planet. I can pretty much guarantee that. So somehow I got ink on my fingers, and then I touched the pages, and I didn't even realize at this point there is ink on the thickers as well. Those foam thickers now have black ink on them, and I have to go back in and try and clean it off later on, but I didn't even realize it until I was taking the photos. So I used my sand eraser to remove the ink, and that works really well. If you are a messy stamper like me and you tend to get ink everywhere, the sand eraser will take it off. It just takes the super thin layer of paper off the top, which removes the ink. So yeah, it's a good tool to have if you are a messy stamper like myself. Okay, so now I've grabbed out those colored inks, and I'm not sure where I went, but I will in just a second be stamping those solid stars in those 2 colors just around the page. And I'm not trying to get it perfect. I'm trying to kind of offset them so they look a little bit offset on the page. Okay, and then that's going to be it. So there are lots of close-up photos coming up, so you can see all of the details of this page. I feel like I rambled a lot today, so I'm sorry if that is super annoying to you. Hopefully I will, I don't know, do a better job on the next one. Okay, so if you enjoyed this spread, I would appreciate a thumbs up that lets me know that you like what I'm doing and that I should do more of it. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And if you want to be notified when new videos get posted, be sure to hit that bell button and that will give you notifications. Thank you all so much for watching today and for putting up with my rambling. I will see you all back here very soon.